In the mid-2010s, Kyoto Animation was moving from adapting existing manga and visual novels to original works and adapting in-house light novels. A number of these got brushed off for their higher levels of fan service than the studio's previous output, with the exception of Free, which was dismissed by the usual crowd but drew in a large new audience, and the more traditional Sound Euphonium, both of which became the studio's tentpoles with multiple seasons and movies. Aside from those two, KyoAni's work during the period between Nichijou and Kobayashi gets a little glossed over, which isn't fair since they very clearly put in just as much work and dedication as they always had. Much has been made of the attention paid to swimming styles and techniques in Free, but I'm here to go into another show from the same era, Amagi Brilliant Park. Amabri, a 13th episode anime from fall 2014, takes the conventions of theme park kayfabe, where the characters really are themselves come to life and the human staff are their friends, and say, what if it were true? And while that's fine for the Tokyo Disneylands of the world, what about the Narita Dreamlands? That question leads us to the titular Amagi Brilliant Park, a rundown theme park past its prime that's struggling to make enough money to survive the next 3 months as collectors encroach with an eye on bulldozing it. There wouldn't be much hope in that situation even normally, and on top of that, lives are on the line. While some of the park's cast members really are regular humans from Earth, the characters and some of the other cast are from another dimension called Maple Land that thrives on animus, an energy converted from the joy they harvest from Earth. So if there's no more park, then the people of Maple Land will struggle to make people happy and will eventually be forgotten, at which point they disappear. In making an anime about a theme park, the team at KyoAni and the original creator, Full Metal Panic's Gato Shoji, clearly put all their efforts into understanding how theme parks operate. From the hub and wheel structure of the park's map with separate lands and clear landmarks, it follows the standard established in the 1950s, and the attractions are in line with what was popular in the 1980s when the park would have been built. And working on the series' premise of theme park kayfabe, things that are accepted in real theme parks because they preserve the illusion are still here in this one, even if you'd think they wouldn't be needed. For instance, all the fur characters are still designed in proportion to look like people in mascot suits, and there's a network of underground staff tunnels to move cast members around the park without being seen by the guests. The creators clearly did their research beforehand, because the series is full of small references to real parks. The Love Hotel at the former entrance site brings to mind Sky Paradise Rakuen, a love hotel that actually has attractions and one ride. Moffle's complex about him and his park being called a ripoff isn't just a joke about his character design, which was reused from Fullmetal Panic's Bonta-kun. It also brings to mind Narita Dreamland, the famous defunct theme park turned urbex location that struggled with being called a foreign knockoff of Disneyland when it was originally supposed to be the real deal until it lost the license. When Amagi Brilliant Park aired, Narita Dreamland was long closed, but wouldn't be demolished for another 2 years. The opening theme song is called Extra Magic Hour, a Disney Parks term for extra time in the parks given to on-site resort guests before or after regular hours. And as for the characters constantly making reference to a popular in-universe theme park called Digimaland and its mascot Mackie the Mouse, I really don't think I have to explain that one. This attention to detail with telling a story about a theme park is reflected too in the reasons the park is struggling in the first place, as well as the elements that show that it might still have hope for a miracle. The first episode makes a point of showing how each of the attractions fails, from not keeping up with changes in merchandise trends, to marketing a low-level coaster as a thrill ride, to attractions that are too challenging or depressing for kids and most adults. It's heavily implied that Amagi Brilliant Park's hard times hit because of Japan's bubble economy and the market crash in 1992, which caused many real-life parks to close, often less than a decade after they'd opened. In fact, one episode makes explicit reference to this event and says that it's the reason they never expanded to a planned second park. And while Seiya, Isuzu, and company seem a poor fit for restoring the place, they soon find that the same flaws that keep them from succeeding at first end up helping the park when properly applied. Seiya may be self-centered, but his perfection complex makes him take pride in running the park to his own standards. While you shouldn't put Isuzu in charge of anything customer-facing, her military mind allows her to take charge in a disaster and direct a recovery that otherwise would have taken months. And when Moffle's patience breaks and he can't resist punching out a customer from hell, Seiya has the footage edited to look staged, and markets it as wish fulfillment for retail and service workers, and the video goes viral overnight. Just like the park itself, which has small details with heart put into them under all the dust and neglect, the characters can believably turn things around into the miracle that Maple Land needs. With all of this in mind, Ama-Breathe the show and Ama-Breathe the setting make a clear point of blending how theme parks operate in reality with the illusion they project, the one we as guests take as a given even though we know it isn't real because it's more fun to feel that it's real. There's even an episode in which the cast has to convince the guests that a real invasion is actually a show while still making the show feel real. This constant recursion is basically how theme parks and theme park fandom work. You know the reality while feeling the fantasy, and you accept both and take both into consideration. And that's how the show hits so well. Even if the fan service and some of the characters might put you off, Tiramisu in particular, since the collective tolerance for perverts played for comedy has been running dry for a while, the love that the crew put into researching theme parks is clear, and Amagi Brilliant Park gets across not just the facts but also the feeling of what it means to accept a story in your heart and another in your mind. Let me know in the comments what you thought of Amagi Brilliant Park and whether you're a park enthusiast or just watch a lot of Theme Park Tube. This is Secret Identity Studio, and unfortunately, this is the closest I'm getting to a real park until the world stops being like this. Yeah, I know. I went 2 months and some without a video. Times are hard, but I'm trying. Thanks for sticking with me.